Hello and welcome to another episode of the Illimitable Experience podcast. Our today's guest is Ankit Sanghvi, and he is a very special person for the reason of his social work and his continuous association with the Rotaract Club. Welcome, Ankit. How are you?
Hi Manan, I'm doing very good. Hope you two are doing well and you are
Yes,
taking care of yourself. The family is doing good in this pandemic. Uh,
yes,
it
indeed we
is
are.
it is so great to see you here. Like we've been students. He's a year junior to me in our law college. But then it was such a memorable journey then, and it is so good to see you here. Like it is another a roadmap altogether. So it is super good.
Yes. Yes, it's good to see you too, man. I remember the last time, if I'm not wrong, the last time we met was in Law Trust 2019 because again, by the time Law Trust 2020 came, the pandemic had started and it wasn't big of a success, so we couldn't associate very well. But yeah, Law Trust, good memories indeed.
Very true. Very true.
Uh, Ankit, as much as I have known you in college, you are the go-to guy who plays tabla and congo. And is there another instrument, a junk instrument that you told me about? Is it
Correct.
an
Correct.
instrument or is it a type of music?
So majorly, I'll start with the basic thing is tabla. I've done my
Yes.
Visharad in tabla. That is like a bachelorette in music, specific in. So because of that classical base of the rhythm instruments, today you can tell me, Ankit, can you play any rhythm instrument? And I'll be happily saying, yes, I can do that. It is only because of that classical background or that learning from tabla which has helped. So
Hmm.
it is when you have that rhythm or you have that tune in your mind and that learning is so strong, the bass is so strong that you can pick up any rhythm instrument, say congo, say tabla, say bongo. Junk instruments are majorly what we do with utensils or we do with trash cans. So,
Okay.
so that rhythm is there within you. You have made it so strong and you've made it so firm that you
Mhm.
pick up any instrument, say djembe, or you pick up darboka, which are more of an African instrument. Whichever is
Mhm.
related to a percussion or a rhythm instrument, I'll be happy and I'll be openly saying that, oh yes, I can play this also.
Wow, that is so amazing that you master one skill and the other skills you learn automatically. You don't have to, learn it separately.
Very true.
That's so amazing. And so when you say that it's like a bachelor's degree in music. So what about the institute? Like, is it like a degree? Like, is there a college or is it like the institute, like IC or ICSI? What is the body
Correct,
that
correct.
gives away the knowledge and the
Certification.
certificate? Yeah.
So the institute is called Akhil Bharatiya Gandharva Mahavidyalaya. It is based out of Navi Mumbai, like headquartered
Hmm.
in. It is a worldwide institute, or it has presence over the world. Like there are examination centers in US, UK, Australia,
Hmm.
where people have graduated from, and then they have started their own learning and teaching experience. And gradually, those institutes have now become a part, or like I can say, a branch of Akhil Bharatiya Gandharva Mahavidyalaya. So that is an
Okay.
instrument that is an institute where you can, which is more on the classical aspect, like you have certifications for music, for singing, for tabla, for
Hmm.
dancing, Bharatnatyam. So these are the major things which come under those certifications, which come under the institute.
Okay. So, and how many years did you take to learn this tabla? So you're like a professional tabla player, I would call you, or semi-pro, or in that category should I put?
Uh,
Like fully professional tabla player.
Correct, correct. So as such, the profession and the experience is majorly judged on how good you play or how
Hmm.
well you are rehearsing or how well you are practicing.
Hmm.
In all, there are 7 exams or 7 levels in the examination, which then caters or which then helps you with this bachelorate degree.
Hmm.
I started when I was 6 years old. Today I'm 26.
Wow.
So, so
Wow.
I was a very hectic, inquisitive, and a very chanchal so-called of a guy, if you may say.
Ah,
And my mom was like, इसको अगर एक जगह पे बिठाना है, so start with an instrument or start with music to make him sit,
right.
to make him concentrate. Start with something in music, and that is where I joined. The initial years were like, okay, mom, you need to accompany me. I can run out from the class anytime, and you have to stay there. So, initial years were there, and then gradually I started liking it. I started experiencing the joy behind playing music. Then we learned. Then I had taken a break for my 10th, for my 12th, for
Hmm.
IPCC. And so, in all, finally, after the pandemic, on 29th of April is when I gave my final exam. And yep, here I am.
So now you have cleared all the 7 levels of tabla.
Yes, I have cleared all the
Wow.
7.
Congratulations for this. This is another achievement.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you so
really
much.
great. Wow. And you know what I see is the you not only stopped after achieving your musical degree, you did something more. You went a step ahead of to utilize your skill. That fundraising that you started. So can you put a light on the fundraising and tabla?
Sure. And thanks for bringing it up. It is a very important learning, and it is an sharing experience. So, majorly since I learned tabla and I was into music, I was completely into it in my bachelor's college, like inter-college festivals. And I thought that there are number of people, or the major population is music based. So a music plays and their emotion changes. A music plays and they do
Hmm.
something good. A music plays and they can do something bad based on their mental stability.
Right.
So I've majorly this fundraiser. So I my birthday is on 21st of July. So it basically has that 21 days in the month of July on before my birthday. So last year I started this birthday fundraiser. Majorly the pandemic was on. There were people who had lost jobs. There were people who were looking for help. So I thought that why not take your music to the people, make them feel or make them blessed, and then give them an open opportunity to contribute to the society. So majorly in this fundraiser, you might be aware of tabla covers. So what I used to do is I used to pick up any music, say
Hmm.
Bollywood or Hollywood, and
Hmm.
on that music I used to accompany them, or I used to play a tabla tone, tabla rhythm, to cover or to say tune into that rhythm, and that gave
Okay.
that semi-classical and a more of a fusion feel. So
Ah.
I made those tabla covers, and I made a target that one day, like each day, I'll give one tabla cover. I'll put up one tabla cover. So
Wow.
21 days, 21 tabla covers, and that is what the fundraiser was. And to a shocking experience, and since this is an open platform, I will be happy to say that last year I contributed, or we were able to collect around 28,000 rupees through that fundraiser.
Whoa.
And I was happy to, like, I decided on a goal. So I decided on hunger, or eradicating hunger,
Hmm.
and with that funds we could contribute to the largest society, and we will reach out to so many thousands of people through that
Hmm.
particular fundraiser. So it was an amazing experience. So you do what you like, that is passion about music. You help others illuminate their time, because the pandemic was very sad, was very negative, but then these music help you out. And then you give an open platform for them to contribute to a goal, to something about the community. Like you might have time, you might have money, but you will not be able to come out. Or maybe you have money, but you are in your own experiences. So then I was the medium for them to help them contribute to the society. So that is what the fundraiser was on. This year
Man,
too,
that,
this
yeah,
year
yeah,
too,
please.
I did a second fundraiser,
Uh,
and I was able to contribute around 11,000 rupees.
uh,
This year, I made an objective for hygiene and sanitation. So I was
okay.
able to crowdfund 11,000 rupees in that. Like this year was not that 21 days because I myself was sick in between for a week.
Mm-hmm.
But then at least in whatever days I could put up my tabla numbers, I was able to crowdfund that. So this brings you happiness, is what I feel. This brings you
Yes.
happiness. This brings happiness in the people who contribute to that particular fundraiser, and they see that I know Ankit, or I know his way of working, or his contribution to the society, and I trust his ways of working. So
Mm.
it is then there is where people contribute and people bless me, and I am so blessed, and I thank each and everyone for their contribution, because every penny matters, and because of that penny, every life matters.
Right, right, right. Indeed, man. You deserve a huge round of applause and the necessary attention that you are doing. And attention to your work particularly, not only to you, your work mainly. Man, that's too good that you collected 28,000 and 11,000. Great, great, man. Wow. So then, what happened? I mean, where do you donate the money? That the money you collect, is there like Rotaract Club or somewhere else?
No, so majorly I decide on a goal, as I mentioned. So last year I decided on eradication of hunger. So
Hmm.
I had my friend called Harsh Mandavya, and
Hmm.
he's again into this. So he has his own business, which is called Harsh Thalis and Parathas, where
Hmm.
mom makes, son sells. So
Okay.
my uh, he's my like we were students together in the college, in the junior college.
Acha.
So it is where I contributed. So in the pandemic, he used to feed around hundreds and thousands of people daily, like one meal a day. He used to do it daily. He's
Wow.
currently still doing the same. He got his uh, to bring out his laurels. He was one of the Hindustan Times top 30 under 30 people. He's been he's working into it like here and there, and he's making a point that no one should stay hungry or go without a meal for a day. So I
Right.
contributed major of my contribution, or say 90% of my contribution, to Harsh Thalis and Parathas last year.
Uh-huh.
And the other part, the 10% which I saved, was for stray feeding. So just
Hmm.
to add on, I because of the pandemic, the senior citizens or people who used to roam around and used to feed the stray dogs and cats, they did
Hmm.
not move out because of the pandemic. So
Hmm.
as such, that cycle stopped. So then it is where I decided that I should be the medium or a contributor to these stray feeding activities, and that 10% of that I purchased dog food, and I used I'm happy to share that from the pandemic till date, I make it a point that I daily go at around 9:30, 10 in the night, and I feed around 28 to 30 dogs and cats daily. So that is where I
Wow. Man, I mean, I actually have no words of appreciation to, I like from the Instagram, I was aware that you were doing a lot of social work, but now that you have given me the details and the effort, and you talk about your friend who is doing the same work but at a larger scale, that is commendable. I mean, it is just like I said, I have no words to describe how I'm feeling, because what happens is, see, I'm seeing a lot. I mean, I'm observing that this is a very common trait, that initially when you start anything, people aren't there to support you. Okay.
Very
And the moment you start to grow a little bit, and then people start joining the bandwagon. Even in your case, the thought that you used the skill of playing tabla as a way to generate money, it is, and then people join, because I guess not everyone who contributed, you were aware of the names of the people, right?
very
Some unknown names might have also contributed. So this, it's like the energy is, in sync. And when you are doing with a good motive, anything with a good motive you are doing, people automatically join you when they have the same motive, even if they're not able to directly join in
correct,
join in
correct.
I mean,
So
this is
like
so
the
good.
world conspires you to do what you are wanting to do. It has-
This is a great thought. The world conspires to do.
The world conspires you to do good
uh,
when they know that, or when the good is happening. So that the uh, uh, like the vibes come in, the energies come in, and they synchronize it so well that synergy is so powerful that
uh,
it does not matter how good you are, or it is that baby step or that first step which you take, and then the world conspires you to support you in your.
yes, that's so true, and that's so true. I mean, see, even with the like, in the pandemic also, if you look at, I mean, I not that I am a personal fan of news channels, but the focus is always on the economic loss and the migrant, and the people who can speak basically.
Correct, correct.
Like I can speak. If I'm suffering, I can speak. If somebody else is suffering, they can speak. But the living beings that cannot speak, like the dogs and the cats, you took care of them also,
Correct,
that too voluntarily. I
correct.
mean, the amount of thought process that you put into, even serve the people, the living beings that cannot speak, that automatically tells. I mean, I do not even have to point out your, so how great your soul is, but people who will be listening to this, they will understand what kind of a, selfless person you are. Too good, man. Too good. Amazing. Wow.
Majorly, it was like the pandemic was on, and coincidentally, I was voluntarily unemployed. There were no jobs as such, and I felt that the pandemic should not go waste in terms of when the need is there. There are
Hmm.
people who are requiring. There are human beings who are requiring. There are these voiceless living beings which are requiring. So I thought that why not be there and help them. And I am more of a person who will want to be on the ground and to support such activity, be a part of
Hmm.
such. Of course, I do not deny, and I of course thank for the people who feel that their contribution matters, and because of that contribution is where I am able to work on the ground,
Right.
because that passion leads me. But then I strongly feel that the joy of serving the society, of the joy of being a part of the community, comes when you stand with the community, comes when you stand on the ground and support
Hmm.
or be a part of something. Like it might be once a month, it might be once a quarter, it might be a week in 6 months, it might be a month in a year. But then at least you should step out, or you should be there on ground to be a part of some social service activity which gives you joy, or
Right.
which you like to do. So that will grow gradually. That will grow. The feeling for the people will grow. There'll be world peace, or we talk about the. I'm more of a I should not say religious, but then I'm more of
Hmm.
a spiritual, or more of a person who believes about karma, who believes about doing things, who believes about good things happening. I believe about bad things not happening because something good is written. So that
Right.
is where I strongly through this medium I request the larger crowd to be a part of the activity, to be a part of the community in whichever way it is possible.
Hmm. 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 And see, that's true. See, another thing that I would like to point out, if you remember, a long time ago, I mean, a few months ago, or probably last year, I visited your Instagram profile. And in your bio, you have written Vasudeva Kutumbak. People usually write, the karma believer and, all the spiritual phrases just to
Correct.
appear that, oh, look, I'm spiritual, like खुशी बांटने से ही बढ़ती है, that kind of
Correct.
philosophy है. And it is
It's
so
hashtag
it's
spread khushiya. Hashtag spread
खुशियाँ.
khushiya.
It's so great, man, so great. I mean, too good. And not only during the pandemic, you have also association with the Rotaract Club. What do you do in the Rotaract Club now that you are a president, right? You told me. Vice
No, no.
president or vice president? No,
Vice
editor.
Yeah. Last year I was the vice president for the club. This
हाँ.
year I am the editor for the district. So it includes
अच्छा.
a more
So,
larger organization.
oh, okay. So this is now you have moved up a little bit.
Correct.
Wow. So what do you do in the Rotaract Club?
Sure. So I'll just give a brief about Rotaract so that the crowd will be more aware of what the Rotaract is an international youth organization with its parents, which is the Rotary Club. So you might have Rotary International
Hmm.
is something which everyone knows. It is a worldwide organization about community service. The youth of these Rotarians are the Rotaractors. That is the Rotaract Club of Andheri, Rotaract Club of NM College, Rotaract Club of Churchgate, etc. These are these individual Rotaract clubs of.
So is it like each area or each has their own Rotaract Club?
Correct. So majorly Rotaract clubs, one are institution based, where you will have Rotaract Club of NM College, Rotaract Club of Mithibai, Rotaract Club of Jai Hind College, and the other side is a community based, or people who have graduated or people who have passed their education and they still want to be a part of Rotaract. Then you have Rotaract Club of Andheri, Rotaract Club of Churchgate, Rotaract Club of Seaview, means there are different names. So those are based on those localities, or those are based on those communities which are specific, or the area is, I don't say restricted, but then it is named on that particular locality
region, right?
Correct. So I'm a part of Rotaract Club of Andheri. In the district, it is almost around, like we revived in 2009, but as such, it is more than, I should say, a 16 or a 17-year-old. That has been there. Our parents are the Rotary Club of Bombay West. That is again a more bigger crowd here, where Rotarians or where people from the age 30 and above are a part of, where they are working or they have their business. Rotaract Club of Andheri, I joined in as a director for community service because I felt that I will be able to contribute to a larger crowd through the Rotaract Club, and community service was, of course, my passion. Be there for the community. And we worked on different projects. We picked up different objectives. We worked on, say, menstrual hygiene and sanitation. We worked on environment. We worked on.
Excuse me to interrupt you. How did you work on this menstrual sanitation project?
Great. So, as you are aware, or maybe just for an open information, in India, still the use of pads or the use of hygienic sanitation is not into literature. Like there, of course, sanitation is taken care of, but the hygiene is where the question arises. Like people use cloths, or people are still there are still communities which are where women are told to stay separately. They have their separate bedding, they have their separate utensils, etc.
And these practices are in the interiors of the country, right?
Correct. There are in the interiors of the country, there are there in specific communities, where these communities or where a few people have migrated to the urban areas uh, in a small population, but then these practices are still there, which which were there earlier because there was reason that there was no technology, or there was no support, or there were no products to help them. But then
Right.
today, as we are developing or as we have use of technology is nothing but majorly the science or the research behind making a particular product. So it was not there then, but now it is there. Then these patriarchy practices should stop or should be I'll be wrong to say to eradicate because it is too huge. But then at least where education comes into picture, I feel that each one serve one. So if we can help at least one person to make a change or to be good, that is where
Wow. Yeah, so you continue about the projects that your club has
correct.
undertaken.
So as mentioned, we worked on environment. We were looking into tree plantation, or we were looking into prohibiting single use of plastic, and there were different projects throughout the year. We were working closely with associations where people are focused. So our goal was also like not only to do a particular project, but also to support an NGO or an organization which is completely into one particular segment. So if I say environment or if I say e-waste recycling, we were supporting an NGO which was completely into e-waste recycling, and we were helping them reach to a larger audience. We are helping them recycle more e-waste so that it does not harm the environment.
Wow.
So those were different projects in the community service. Gradually, then I moved or I got promoted to being the vice president of the Crotrack Club with more, say, managerial or more of a strategic and problem-solving role, wherein they were direct, like I took up community service, editorials, or majorly publications as like under my ambit, and we were working together. And that year, this was the first year. Like it was last year, it was a year of online. It was year of moving online. It was year of say virtual
consolidating on the online.
Consolidating in online. Very true. It was all virtual. So it was a different experience altogether where you are meeting people online. You have, like you say, my day is planned with my lectures. Here we should say that my day was planned with Zoom meetings because you had something or the other to do. You had to keep the people passionate about social service. You had to have a part where you have fun with them so that they do not get bored. You had other activities, like there was a lot of thing which was there which had to be done, because you cannot leave a person alone to think okay you can do whatever you want to do and make him feel lonely or make him feel independent. That is where there were sessions on mental wellness, there were sessions on keeping yourself fit and healthy. There was Flatten the Curve, wherein we collaborated with not a gym but more of a fitness institute, and we had a session, so like twice a week, where they used to come and they used to help us with our fitness, with our physical fitness. So that was there going on here and there. We were working, and then this year, so from July onwards, I moved on from being a part of a club to now being a part of a larger reach, which is the district.
Wow.
I am now the district editor for Crotrack District 314. Majorly, these clubs then report to a district, which then reports to a country, which then reports worldwide. So as such, it was good.
Wow. And I mean, how much are you involved with the social services? And we can extend this podcast to a very large length. It can go on and on. That's true.
Very true.
But we'll dig deep. We'll surely dig deep with everything that you're doing. Wow. So if what are the benefits of joining a Rotaract club in the college level? Like you said, the college has a different Rotaract. And
Correct.
what are the benefits of joining Rotaract at a elderly age level, like 28 or 30 or somewhere like that?
Correct. Correct. So, majorly an institution-based club or in college is where you have that passion of community service, but then you don't know what to do. Or I feel majorly to join an institute club is when you're studying is it helps you streamline your way of working, your life into something good instead of loafing around, instead of just doing nothing and gaming. Like I do
Yes,
not
not
deny
doing
that
anything productive, you mean? Yeah.
productive. I do not deny that that is wrong or that is right. But then I feel that it is always great that if you are given an opportunity or if you are given this human life, then you should always try to streamline it to something good.
It is,
That
so
is
that's true.
where the institution based comes. Now it so happens then when you are in your college, you pick up professional courses like you pick up sorry, you pick up company
CA or
secretary,
CS.
CA or
Right.
CS, correct. So you have your articles after college, you have your own schedule itself is so tight
Yeah,
that
on
you do not
schedule,
see
right.
something outside.
That's
That
true.
is where this community-based clubs come into picture, where, okay, now I'm done being a CA, I'm done being a CS, I'm done being an ICWA, and I have time now with my office or with my working. So where do I go? It is where there is this community-based clubs help you to take out some time for the community, to do good to a smaller audience where these community.
Right. Hmm. That's really, I think this serves as an important it sets an important objective also. When a student is in the first year of junior college or first year of degree college also, everyone hasn't figured out what they have to do in life. I mean, if somebody is already studying hardcore like CA, CS or ICAA, then it is determined that for the next 3 to 4 years they're dedicated to their career, and then maybe they'll take up the community service. But a person who isn't pursuing and who is lost and trying to figure out what he or she wants to do, then this is one of the best ways. Reason being that you get people from all the backgrounds. Even if you're in college, people, BCom, BAF, and other sections, BMS, whatever you name the section, and the people will be there.
Correct.
And it gives you a wider perspective that what one can pursue. Ankit, I was last year again. I saw you that you were volunteering for something, and you were in Dharavi.
Correct. Correct.
So, what was it about? Was it a part of your Rotaract activities only, or you personally volunteered to do something at Dharavi?
Correct. Correct. So I'll first explain as to what exactly that was, and then maybe
Yes.
you'll get a much clearer picture. So firstly, it was not Rotaract. It was not related to Rotaract. I voluntarily picked it up because I thought that since I'm free and then the community needs, then I should be there. So that mindset is always there. So majorly when the pandemic was on, the BMC and the municipal authorities here, uh, they wanted like a mass screening type of things. So majorly, it will help them to say detect the virus or detect the infection at an earlier stage. So they had identified, say, high risk or say high infected areas or communities in the, like it was Pan Mumbai. I was majorly a part of our ward, the K West ward, in we used to be, wherein we used to go to these slums or these places where, of course, hygiene and sanitation is not the best, but then people still stay because they are living to be a part. So we used to be there with, of course, with all the protection, like PPE kits were on, masks were on, shields were on, and we used to go there and undertake a basic screening as to how do you feel, are you doing well, is your body temperature right, is your oxygen levels right, have you contracted or have you infected yourself with anything else other than the
Mm.
COVID virus, or majorly we were playing a role of counseling the people to take
Mm.
care, and majorly
Ye-
to spread some positivity, because for them, since those are majorly daily wagers or people who earn their living on a day's income, uh, the the mindset was very not the mindset, I should say their mind was very wavering, was on the positives, on the negatives. So we were there majorly to counsel them as to
Mm.
the pandemic is something. I do not say that it is something small and it will go away, but then if you go to a larger picture and if you go way a bit more in the universe, it was something which has come and which will go away.
Yes.
So we were there to undertake this mass screening. We took it at different slums in Andheri and Vile Parle, and then on a major scale, we were around. I remember it was 7th of July, and on 7th of July, we were around 400 volunteers who were there at the Dharavi school, and we screened around 12,000 individuals in the pandemic for this particular activity. And that is majorly people. So about Dharavi, Dharavi is the Asia's largest slum.
Mm.
It's nothing to be more proud about, because there's more of migration or there's more of active, say, activities which are not right, or you might say that their living is not up to the mark. But then to be there, and since it is a part of the city, uh, we were there and we were there to help them out in whichever way possible. So we were there, and that was like honored, and that had got laurels from the United Nations also, that the BMC or the municipal corporation or Mumbai Municipal Corporation could go to Dharavi where you might have never thought of being there. It's not
Right.
there. So
So
I
you
was
penetrated to the grassroots level
correct,
and
correct,
you went to individual houses in Dharavi.
correct. So there were groups wherein we had set up desks at the maybe we did not go individually to the houses, but
Okay.
we made it a point, like it was not a one day thing. Like volunteers were there for like 3 days before, and they were there to spread the knowledge as to, or make them aware as to, this is going to happen on Sunday. You have to be there. This is for your good, and you must be there. So we had set up desks on major. We called like your
Yeah,
it is called
checkpoints, like checkpoints.
checkpoints. Here it is called chalk as such.
Huh.
So at major checkpoints and 4 roads, and there we set up camps, and there were such around 23 to 24 such checkpoints where people you
Hmm.
came and get the screening done.
And I'm a bit confused. You weren't testing them for COVID, right? That isn't the case you're saying.
Correct, correct.
You were
Majorly,
just like awareness campaign and telling them that it is a fatal disease and times are tough. Those
correct,
things you were doing, right?
correct. So COVID testing was not done, but then if you see uh, the the symptoms which come up, it is majorly because say you have a high body temperature, or your oxygen level is not into place, or you might feel that you have diarrhea, or the food habits have changed, the smell and the tastes have gone. Those were the major, or those are the major symptoms of COVID. So we used to check these basic parameters or these basic symptoms, and we used to prescribe them or counsel them to have some warm water, counsel them to take steam, prescribe to some basic vitamins and B12 and D3 medicines. So that is what our role was. The screening, the first initial screening for these the virus and the tests is what we used to do.
Oh, okay. So see, I'm assuming that these people might not be aware of the symptoms.
Correct.
Right. So to tell them that अगर आपका शरीर का तापमान बढ़ गया है, तो there is a possibility that you have the virus.
Correct.
अगर आपको डायरिया हुआ है, तो there is a possibility you have the virus. Okay.
So we used to check these parameters, and then we used to consult them or counsel them.
So when did this start exactly last year?
The screening was going on like from say mid-May till end of July, or from May, June, July, these 3 months where this particular activity was going on. I was a part of a batch, like these were all 15-day batches, because volunteers had to move out from their families, had to stay in hostels or quarantine centers, because since you are roaming around, you might be an active passer, you might be an active these were 15-day batches, and I was a part of the 6th batch, which was there from the 2nd of July till the 12th or 15th of July.
Wow.
And 2020.
And is it still going on, or it was only for a few months last year?
No, it was only for a few months last year, till the time that awareness was not there. Till the time
okay.
The government was not
prepared thoroughly,
or as to what exactly this pandemic is.
Right.
Now the screening is not happening, but now we are going forward and making them aware of why you should take the vaccine. We're making them aware as to how is this vaccine going to help you to safeguard you from the virus, safeguard you from not getting infected at an early stage. So that is what role we are playing, and we are moving out, and we are going to places and making them aware. We are setting up vaccination centers, like a model small vaccination center, where we are first accumulating around 80 to 100 people whom we have made aware and who are now ready to take the vaccine. And then we are setting up these small camps, so that in a day or within 2 days, we are able to vaccinate them at once. And maybe then after the 84 days gap, we'll go there again and we'll again make them complete vaccine.
Right. I mean, see, even when you say that last year, the screening you did was for awareness, and this year you are doing it for the vaccine. Even see, let's leave aside Dharavi for 1 second over here. Even people who are educated, literate, and they are like privileged, I would say, even they are having some skepticism regarding the vaccine, that we don't want to take, we have some doubts about it, this and that. So I guess it's not only, awareness is not only needed in those areas where people are assumed to not be aware of such things, but also in those areas which are privileged areas, but people are being skeptic for whatever reasons.
Very true. And we have seen such cases where, to best of my knowledge, like people are completely into it, and people are still not getting vaccinated. There are 2 to 3 perceptions. One is like, what does this vaccine does? Like, you have a common mindset. You will say that, oh, this vaccine is also for business only. So vaccine is something which does not matter if you take or you do not take. So then, to these very specific mindsets, I say
I,
that
yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but I find it hilarious that when people are using this three words, it does not matter. I mean, there are millions of people who have died around the world. There are people probably still dying. You know, in different countries have, probably flattened the curve, but some countries are still suffering. But the audacity to say this with arrogance, it does not matter, is quite hilarious, and it is quite stupid that people are using this three words that does not matter. The arrogance is quite visible over here.
another thing to add here is what I feel it does not matter is one thing, but then what also brings it up, or what ideally they perceive to say, or they put it up is one death is a tragedy, thousands are just statistics. What which brings it.
The
Like
know-it-all
until
people.
yeah,
The
until and
know-it-all.
unless it comes down to your family or your relative, and you see that, oh, this what has happened, it is a
Uh,
tragedy. Until it does not happen to you, you just put it up as okay, the thousands are just statistics, and
right. So
then
if
we
the
say, okay,
statistics are high,
I bow down to you. I cannot do anything to you. You can do whatever you want to do. Let me support the people who are in need, and that is what I should say.
nah, no, no, no. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, well, I just forgot. What did you just say? What people say? The statistics.
One death
To
is a tragedy. Thousands is just statistics.
these are the same people, I think, that when there is high, deaths, they will say the statistics are rigged because they want to encourage fear in people.
Correct.
And when the statistics are low, they will say that the statistics are low because the government does not want to show the truth.
Correct. Very true.
It very conveniently they twist the scenario in their way just to fit their own
Correct.
reality.
Very true.
Man, oh, terrible. Ankit, then this is a question that you must have faced, from people who know that you did this screening process in Dharavi. Despite seeing that there are deaths happening all over the world, America, London, Italy, Spain, any country you take, deaths are taken place. Weren't you afraid at some point of time, despite the precautions? I saw your photo that you were wearing the kit and the glasses and the mask and everything. Despite the precautions, weren't you afraid that this can, if I don't take care, or if I don't, do the necessary, take the necessary precautions, there is a possibility that I might also contract corona?
Oh, very true. Like the initial 2-3 days, I was super scared and I was super anxious as to what exactly is this happening. Or do I move forward, or I should go back, sit back? But the right thing which you mentioned here is, and I feel it is still true, that if you take your precautions well, the harshest of the virus, or the deadliest of the virus, will not affect you because you are taking your precautions. And I mean, precautions are not only wash your hands or say wear your mask, but it is also it is also where it is necessary you should be there. Where it is not necessary, you should not move out. You should not flaunt without a mask and say that, oh, I have got my vaccine, I have got COVID earlier, so I can roam. These are all petty and silly excuses what you give when you are there, because from where it is going to affect you, you do not know.
Yes.
So you have to take your precautions, do the right procedure, or follow the instructions and take care of yourself. Because then only when we will be able to reduce these numbers, or we'll be able to curb this pandemic to start a new normal. I do not say that we're going to surely jump back to the previous days where we were just roaming around. There was no hygiene, there was no hand washing. And it will be true to say that I was also the same. Like, we never thought about washing our hands when we are home. And I used to just rub some water and done. That is what my hand wash was. But then now that this happened, and then we learn from this, I feel that whatever bad happens, there's a learning behind that bad. You learn from that, and you are now taking care of yourself. The new normal will be surely you will step in, you will wash your feet, you will wash your hands with the hand wash, with the soap. And then only maybe you will go forward, eat something, or sit and relax.
Yes, the definition, that's, you rightly pointed it out, the definition of hand wash has become so precise that now that everybody is implementing it. Just like you said that before, the definition of what was the definition of hand wash? Ki pani liya, haath rub kiya, and that is hand wash. No, now it is either you use the hand wash, the soap, or you either use the sanitizer to wash your hands. And it's quite precise now. People should be, that's true. People should be precise about what they are doing, because vaguely doing things again is equivalent to not doing things.
Very true.
So, see, I mean, apart from your fear and anxiety also in the initial days of the screening, weren't your parents also scared that, अरे मेरा बेटा यार जा रहा है करके इतना danger काम करने को, तो क्या होगा मतलब?
Very true.
Because there is, because the disease is not limited to only a few certain age group. It can happen to anyone. So how did they deal with it, or what was their reaction initially when you told them that I want to volunteer for this screening?
Very true. I'm very blessed as such that my parents support me in such activities. But my mom, she is my role model. She'll be there to support me in whatever activities I do. So at the initial stage, yes, she was scared as to, do you really want to go? Why do you want to do? But then since she saw other volunteers who were already there, she was a part, or she came that day to drop me at the center where we were staying, and it was more of a quarantine thing because we were going out from there and coming back there. There was no movement. So she saw other medical professionals out there. She saw other youngsters of my age, of people smaller than me, younger than me, were there. And she felt that no, it is the right thing. And that is where she made me, she was my motivation out there at that point. My dad was still scared, and he was feared. He was having that fear. But then he's such a person that if it is like you take out on the majority. So out of us three, two have to agree, then the third one has to agree. What is that?
The democracy is right running very well in your house. Very nice.
So, and if then there have been situations where if two of them, or of the three, if two do not agree, then the third one can do anything and everything, but that does not happen. So, I strongly, I feel blessed that I have got my parents who support me in this act. And then, of course, precautions were there. We were taken care of, like the hygiene at the residence was great. There were cleanups happening, say twice or thrice a day. served in we were served healthy meals. It was not that we were having Eva or we were given or we were also getting screened like twice a day. So if I'm an active carrier, I do not jump into infecting someone else. So looking at the whole situation is then when we were like, okay, this is the right thing to do, and you should keep that individual fear aside to do something good for the society. And there when we come up and we do the good.
Wow. So, I mean, not only you are brave, your parents also showed the strength and, gave you the encouragement to do such a task that involves such huge risk.
Very true.
Because, see, let's be honest, okay, over here, I mean, you are an exception to this, definitely. But when this pandemic started, everyone wanted to be safe. Okay. Anyone, be it anyone. That's why I said you're the exception, because you voluntarily put yourself out, doing all this activity. Everyone wanted to be safe. Everyone wanted their loved ones to be saved. And maybe the kids and their own parents, the grandparents. That was their, extent of their reach. But you not only protected and took care of your own family, and also your parents took care of you, but you also took care of the community. You put yourself out and emanated that energy that it is time to come together and stay safe in this pandemic. That's commendable.
Yeah, the
So good.
mindset was that only that, and after that my mindset has changed uh, superly. Like first I was only where the like the one who were at the line of poverty, or I should say at the line of the need, is when that help was required. I felt as, but then gradually I started feeling on, and it should be felt by everyone. I feel that thought process is something where you make it a point to see that if you are at a particular level, and if someone is a lower or is at a lower level, that means that that person is in more need than you. So you are not just going to the lowest of the low, but you are helping the ones in between to rise, to stabilize themselves. Is where the perception.
That's a great thought. Ankit, another thing, I mean, this is another an extension of your own good, excellent deeds only. A few months ago only, if I'm not wrong, you uploaded this photo that there. Can you pull a share screen? Yes, this one. Third one. Fourth. Next. Yes, this photo with Dettol, and I don't know. I guess this what Dettol gave you is like a token of appreciation. If I'm not wrong, that is what I want to, and that is what I assume. And it has also has a photo of you in the, what do you call this, precautionary cloth that they give you to wear, the blue color one.
Correct, the PP kit.
PPE kit. You're wearing the PPE kit. What was it about?
First of all, thank you for bringing this up here and sharing it.
There are more photos, right? Wait, there.
Yeah,
No,
you
no,
can
wait.
click right here only.
There are three only. That one. Click that.
Yeah, the second one. So
Yes, see, this
majorly
is the bottle. Yeah.
correct. So the photo is of when I was there in the mass screening in Dharavi and other places. The photo is of that time.
Hmm.
Majorly Dettol and Better India, they had collaborated together uh, to appreciate or to motivate other individuals to do good or to be a part and to use these proper sanitation and hygiene methods.
Mhm.
And they were recognizing 100 such individuals who had worked in the pandemic, individuals, partners, organizations who had worked
100
in
in the 100 in what, like 100 in Maharashtra, 100 in Mumbai
100
city,
in India, 100 in India.
100 in
So
India.
yeah, so
Wow.
so they were appreciating 100 such individuals in the
Uh,
country uh, by their work which they have done. And if you see the place where the photo was there, that is where Dettol has its logo. That logo
yes.
is the
Yes, yes, yes.
USP of that particular hand wash, or is the USP of Dettol as such.
Right.
So they decided that uh, for for the next 2 months or from the period now, uh, in that production, instead of that logo, they will recognize these 100 individuals, or they'll recognize me as a part of these 100 individuals
Hmm.
for the good things which they have done. And that will motivate people to do good, motivate people to uh, to be a part of this regime where we are proposing or we are seeing the use of hand wash or the use of hand like that is what the goal
Hmm,
was.
hmm, hmm.
So it is the first time when Dettol literally replaced their USP logo and they put up photos of us with a small write up
Wow.
what we do. And very happy. Like, of course, we received it the first, but then from the market research, I got to know that from this month, or say from last week or so, pan India, it has reached to the retailers. So now anyone and everyone who buys a Dettol hand wash will get these packing material, and it will go pan India.
Damn. Wow. Wow. So mad. I am so proud of you. I cannot express my gratitude. You know, the everyone who is, you're closely associated with, your parents, your close friends, the college, you have made everyone very proud, very proud. And now, how long are they going to manufacture the bottles with your photo for the
So
next 6 months, 1 year, something like that?
so I don't know how much are they going to manufacture, but I feel that uh, a month's production is where I foresee, or that is what we had a conversation is, was
Mm-hmm.
where these logos will be replaced by all as individuals and it will be sold. The shelf life of the product is 2 years, so it depends on the sale also. So
Right.
it can be there from 1 day
Mm-hmm.
purchase to 2 years of stocking at the distributor or at the retailer. But then at
Wow.
least for the I foresee that at least for the 2 years till the time the stock lasts, that is going to be there. Majorly, the role it is going to play, the key role it is going to play is to recognize individuals like us. That is one.
Mm.
And the second, and more importantly, it is going to motivate others by reading and by watching that image or by getting more about us, getting to know more about us and be a part of the community. So that is where
Wow. So only the 100 people that were with you.
no, not with me, but any individual who was doing good in the pandemic. There are people from Delhi who are doing their good. So there were
Okay.
some
But all
individuals,
in all, it is only 100 in all of India.
100 in all of India.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. 100 in all of India. And you are one of them. And I am talking to you right now. So it is my privilege indeed to have you as a guest today. Wow.
My friend we mentioned about Harsh,
Hmm.
he is also one of these 100, and of course he's doing much good and much on a larger scale. But then
Yeah.
he and his mom are also part of this initiative.
Wow. So from Mumbai, is it only you two that have been
Uh,
selected, or you know anyone else also from Mumbai?
no. So there might be more people, but we do not know the entire list or
Oh, so
we
you don't know the other
other
98
98.
people.
Correct.
Wow.
I do
So
not
did
know
they tell,
specific.
did they, since you are in Mumbai, uh, and your Harsh that you mentioned, your friend Harsh is also in Mumbai. So the bottles with your photo, they will be sold only in Mumbai. Is it like that, or they will be sold all over the country?
All over the
And
country.
oh,
Like
okay.
it can
So
be
it will be
anything,
like it can be anywhere. It can go
anywhere,
anywhere.
anyone. Correct.
And you can also get a bottle with someone else's photo on it.
Sorry.
So if you purchase a bottle, you can, there is a possibility that the bottle might have a photo of someone you don't know.
Correct. I don't. So
Wow.
none of us will know. Like of course, we as
Uh,
customers, anyone and everyone who is a customer and who purchases this bottle will find it with some photo, or
uh,
will find it with a volunteer who has done good in the pandemic.
Damn, man. I mean, it is sincerely a privilege to have you today, Ankit. I mean, the more I say, I know I have been repeating it multiple times in this podcast, but I mean, credit where it is due. My words are, all I can do is appreciate you and your efforts, and your friend Harsh, who is doing this phenomenal job. Wow. Ankit, now, since you are a lawyer, uh, how much has law influenced your thought process of doing the social work?
Very good question, and it, it, it is a point where you must appreciate your education and where it comes from. So majorly, I felt that like the community service was there was no problem, but
Hmm.
where majorly law made an impact or made something different was I streamlined myself to doing good with the help of things which are already available to us. Like I this was way too. Let me streamline
No,
with
you
an
can give an
example.
example also. Yeah, give an
Correct.
example.
So if you say that, uh, I'll specifically talk about uh, my the stray babies which I have, because that is one major topic which taken care.
Stray, what
So
do you mean by stray babies?
my dogs and my cats, they are my babies. So I call them my animals are my babies. I am like
So you have them, you have them domesticated at your home
no. They are at their
outside.
locality only, but then
Acha,
I
okay.
take care of their vaccination. I take care of their deworming. I take care of their food. From I
Mm-hmm.
like from start to end. I feel if I'm doing it, then I should take the responsibility completely.
Right.
So I've named them a few also. There is
Uh-huh.
Kalu, there's Brownie, there's Julie, and like whatnot. Like we can go
Uh-huh.
like so. In terms of law, when I see these strays getting betrayed, or when I see them getting beaten by someone, when road
Mm.
accidents happen, or when a person casually just hits them or just flaunts them away, it is where law helped me to know, okay, this is not right. At first, it is not right. Very true. We know everything. But then you have the remedy in law which is available to you to take support of. You reach out to the police, you reach out for help through the right medium. And then since I am educated in law, I know the law, or I know the basic sections or their application. It helps so swiftly, because here the police also is not that inclined to animal safety. Of course, I do not deny that it is wrong or it is right, because they have the human, the human, I should say, the people trouble is so much that it is difficult for them to move out from that only. So how will they step into something which is no one talks to? You cannot talk.
Right.
But then those animals too have those fundamental rights. They have the right to be fed. They have the right to uh, taken care. They have the right to be taken care of. They have the right to stay and to move, whatever the freedom which we have. It's what they also have. And it is really important for them also to live a happy life. So these laws have helped me to streamline or to cater to situations where the wrongdoing is happening, to just go there and inform them that you do this wrong and this is what the law says, this is what the application is, and this can lead you to these results which are not good for you. So that is where law has helped me, in terms of animal safety, or in terms of and against animal cruelty. The other thing where law helped me, or where I majorly put up myself, is on the environmental front, where you have laws which speak about air pollution, you speak about land masses getting filled by landfills, plastic waste, is where this law helped me to cater to. Okay, I say that spitting is what spitting today, like in Mumbai or in India, it was a very common thing which people spitting in public places.
People spit, yeah.
Correct. Then, based on the law and based on the stringent provisions of the law, we get to know that spitting is a crime, that spitting is not good. It is an offense, or you can be fined. Major repeated spitting can lead you to custody, police custody. That is where.
Excuse me to interrupt you. This what you're saying, na? Okay, spitting is punishable with fine or probably even imprisonment for 1 day or two, maybe. I know someone who learned this the hard way. Hand to God, now I'll narrate you the incident. What happened? I was in 12th standard or a first year of degree college, and I was with one of my classmates, and he was kind of careless, in back then. So what happened is he completed eating his pack of chips. Okay, and we got down from the rickshaw, and he threw the empty packet near the area, which was actually, already polluted. I mean, people had already spat there, and it was already dirty. And there was this police guy who was standing in civilian clothes, not dressed as a police, but as a normal. And the moment he saw that, isne to kachra fek diya yahan pe. Now we went ahead. He came from behind. He tapped on his shoulder, and I'm like, "Come here. ये वहां पे क्यों फेंका? नहीं, कभी वहां पे गंदा था तो मैंने फेंक दिया." My classmate said. Then he told us that he's a police officer, and you will be fined. I don't know, maybe took 600 or 700 rupees as fine. And that was like, he had to learn it the hard way. But anyway, so this thing you're stating, the first incident that came to our mind was, Acha, this I know who learned this the hard way.
Correct.
So that's so true, man. And these are some simple etiquettes, you know. I understand that the area is already, people have already spat on it. It is dirty, but that does not mean that you add more to it.
Correct. Very true.
Very naive approach, I would say. But anyway, some people learn the hard way. Some people already have it, but it goes around. It goes on.
Correct. Correct. So this example we also see, like if you have seen the movie Lage Raho Munna Bhai, wherein you have that Gandhigiri for radio going on, and there's one
Yes.
person who calls that मेरे ऊपर वाला आके मेरे घर के बाहर फूक के जाता है. So I do not say that everyone should like, and not me also as such. I do not go the hard way in just like I'll go there and I'll start cleaning, or I'll go there and pick up the trash and keep. But then I feel that I'll at least, I'm responsible to make these people aware that okay, you've done it today,
Right.
but from tomorrow you have something, a dustbin right next to you. You have your own bag where you can collect it and then go home and dispose it off. So I make those awareness. I make the awareness a more important thing than going the hard way and either fining them or either cleaning them. So that is where it is.
Right. This is so true. I've heard from many people, but in different perspectives, that law has helped them accentuate their own character.
Very true.
You are a person who cares for the society, for the community. Law helped you become a person, and which that enabled you to do this in a very, legal manner, I would say, and in a way that is, achievable also. Like
More
today,
vigilance.
if you see, more vigilance. Today, if you see a dog being hit by someone, you won't throw a pellet stone on the person's head.
Correct.
You know now, because now you are a lawyer, you know क्या करना है, कि अच्छा पुलिस में जाना है and you have to file a complaint, or I have to record the video and then go to file the complaint.
Correct.
There's someone else who learned this the other way also. For me, law has been seeking the truth. It is always about seeking the truth. And I have seen this with many people, not only you, that, like I gave your example for, for service. For me, it is seeking the truth. For someone, it is something else. But law has so much power to, so much power that I don't know how to put it in a correct manner. But it is a revelation that things can be done and you can have it.
Correct. Very true.
Like if you were in grade 11th or 12th, you wouldn't know the solution to dog pelting.
Correct.
अगर कोई कुत्ते को पत्थर मार रहा है तो मैं क्या करूं? But the moment you learn the law, you realize, acha, this can be done. So it is
Correct.
kind of a revelation to the solutions of the many problems that you have been seeing for a long time.
Very true.
Ankit, man, I mean, we could go on and on for your excellent and selfless deeds. But unfortunately, we'll have to end this today. Maybe we can have a part 2 for this sooner or later.
Very true.
But I mean, I'm overwhelmed also to, listening to your stories. I am proud that I'm, you came, I'm associated with you personally. I'm your junior in college. I'm proud, and it is a privilege to talk to you after a long time. And you made everyone around you proud, honestly, man, with your actions.
Thank you so much, Manan. I'm blessed, and I'm it's more about what you give, you get back is where I see gratitude. And thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast today.
It was my pleasure. I mean, it was a privilege and pleasure to have you, man. Genuinely.
It's these ups and downs, or we say pap punya ka thing, which cycle goes on, and is where this happens when something good is what you've done and what would you get is where we are here in this podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much for inviting me once again.
My pleasure. So now we'll be stopping the recording.